Once upon a time, in a forest where the trees whispered lullabies and the stars twinkled like tiny nightlights, there was a cozy little village made entirely of mushrooms. The houses were red and white spotted toadstools, the shops were tall brown mushrooms with windows carved into their stems, and the street lamps were glowing golden chanterelles that gave off the warmest, softest light you ever did see. In this magical place called Mushroom Hollow lived a kind 6-year-old girl named Kayla with curly brown hair and the brightest smile in all the land. Kayla lived in a sweet little mushroom cottage painted the color of sunset with a round purple door and windows shaped like half moons. Every morning, she would wake up and help her neighbors however she could. She was small, the smallest helper in all of Mushroom Hollow, but her heart was as big as the ancient oak tree at the center of the village. Some grown-ups would pat her head and say, "You're too little to help with the big things, dear." But Kayla never stopped trying. One peaceful evening, as the sky turned the color of lavender and honey, Kayla was walking along the dewdrop stream that bubbled through the village. Suddenly, she heard the most peculiar sound, a great big splash followed by the silliest giggle she had ever heard. Up from the water rose the most unexpected creature, a sea monster. But not a scary one at all. This sea monster was round and blue with sparkly scales, friendly purple eyes, and a smile full of teeth that looked like marshmallows. "Hello there, little one," the sea monster said with a cheerful wave of her flipper. "My name is Bubbles, and I'm terribly lost. I was swimming through an underwater tunnel and ended up here." "Say, why did the mushroom go to the party?" Kayla tilted her head curiously. "Because he was a fungi. Get it? Fun guy." Bubbles laughed at her own joke, her whole body jiggling like jelly, and Kayla couldn't help but giggle too. "I'm Kayla," she said warmly. "Welcome to Mushroom Hollow. Are you hungry? You must be tired from your long journey." Bubbles nodded sadly, her tummy rumbling like distant thunder. Kayla remembered something special. Her grandmother had given her a magical bowl of snacks that always refilled no matter how much was eaten. She ran home quick as a bunny and brought back the wonderful bowl filled to the brim with berries, nuts, and sweet honeycomb treats. Bubbles' eyes grew wide as dinner plates. She ate, and every time the bowl looked empty, it magically filled right back up again. "Oh, my fins and flippers!" Bubbles exclaimed between bites. "This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. What do you call a fish with no eyes? A fish?" They both laughed together as the first stars began to peek out from the darkening sky. Kayla felt so happy to have made a new friend, even if Bubbles' jokes were a little bit silly. But their laughter was interrupted by worried voices. The village elder, a wise old hedgehog named Mr. Thornberry, came hurrying down the path looking very concerned. Oh dear," he fretted. "The great glowing mushroom at the center of our village has stopped shining. Without its light, everyone will be too scared to sleep tonight. We need someone to climb to the very top and polish its cap, but it's so terribly high, and none of us can reach it." All the grown-ups of Mushroom Hollow gathered around, scratching their heads and wringing their paws. "It's too dangerous," said the baker badger. "The climb is too difficult," worried the seamstress squirrel. Kayla looked at the great glowing mushroom towering above the village. It was as tall as 5 houses stacked on top of each other. She felt very small indeed, but then she had an idea, a wonderful, brilliant idea that made her heart feel brave. "I can do it," Kayla announced. Everyone turned to look at her. Some smiled kindly, but shook their heads. "You're too small, dear," said Mrs. Fieldmouse gently. But Bubbles splashed excitedly in the stream. Wait! I know a joke. Why did the little star shine the brightest? because it tried the hardest. And I believe in Kayla. She may be small, but her kindness makes her mighty. Kayla took a deep breath and began to climb. The mushroom stem was bumpy and soft, with little ridges that were perfect for tiny hands and tiny feet. Up and up she went, higher than the rooftops, higher than the tallest trees. The villagers below held their breath, and Bubbles called up encouraging jokes. "What did the snail say on the turtle's back?" "Whee!" Kayla giggled, and somehow the laughter made the climb easier. At last, Kayla reached the very top of the great glowing mushroom. The cap was covered in sparkly dust that had gotten all clumpy and dim. With her small, gentle hands, she carefully brushed away the dust and polished the cap until it gleamed. And then, oh, what a sight! The mushroom burst into the most beautiful golden light, showering the whole village in a warm, cozy glow. Every cottage, every pathway, every little flower was bathed in the softest, most peaceful light. Kayla climbed back down to cheers and happy tears. Mr. Thornberry hugged her tight. "You saved our village, little one. You showed us all that even the smallest helpers can do the biggest, most important things." Bubbles splashed joyfully and told her best joke yet. "Knock, knock! Who's there? Kayla! Kayla! Who?" "Kayla is the bravest, kindest hero in all the land." Everyone laughed and celebrated their tiny, wonderful hero. As the celebration wound down and the village grew quiet and sleepy, Kayla sat by the stream with Bubbles one last time. The magical snack bowl sat between them, filled with warm, honey-drizzled treats. "Thank you for believing in me," Kayla said softly, her eyes growing heavy. "Thank you for being my friend," Bubbles whispered back. "Now close your eyes, little hero. Dream of mushroom houses and starlight and all the wonderful adventures waiting for tomorrow." Kayla yawned a great big yawn, her whole body feeling warm and peaceful and so very sleepy. She snuggled into a soft patch of moss by her mushroom cottage as Bubbles hummed a gentle lullaby. The great glowing mushroom shone softly above, like a nightlight watching over the whole village. Kayla's eyes fluttered closed, a small smile on her face, and she drifted off to sleep, dreaming of friendly sea monsters, magical snacks, and the wonderful truth that even the smallest helper can do the biggest, most beautiful things in all the world. Good night, little Kayla. Good night.